There are certain customers that you don't want to work for, and early on in your business, you don't know this because you just want to service every single customer that comes in because you want to make as much money as possible. But in this video, I want to save you some time and tell you 3 signs that you are dealing with a troubled customer. Now, there are more than this. However, on this particular job, we experienced 2 of these 3 reasons. And after this video, I want you guys to tell me whether or not you would service this customer again. Now, one other thing I want you to know before we jump into this one is your lead flow is going to be the reason that you either put up with customers like this or you pass up on customers like this. I talk to guys every single day that have 1 way or 2 ways of getting customers. Oh, I get word of mouth customers or I get repeat business. That's not a way to run a business. That's not a way to scale a business. Eventually, you're going to run out of new customers. You're going to get into scarcity mode, and then you're going to start dealing with stuff that you ultimately shouldn't deal with from customers that aren't good because you don't have any other options. When you give yourself options, you give yourself choices, you're able to charge what you want, you're able to work for who you want, and you're able to work whenever you want because you are the one with the choices. So if you're somebody who only has a couple ways, you need to check out me and Mike's coaching group. It's specifically structured and designed to help you come up with a diversified marketing plan. That way you can start bringing in the consistent lead flow no matter how much competition you have, no matter what time of year it is, and you can finally ditch all those excuses. If I said to you, hey, what is the reason you don't have the lead flow coming into your business right now that you want? You would probably tell me it's because, oh, there's too many guys, or it's the $99 guy, or yada, yada, yada. I hear it all the time. You need to put the things in place that are ultimately going to drive the lead flow so that way you can ditch all the excuses and that way you can take your future into your own hands, because when you're pointing at somebody else as the reason that you're not having success, that's when you ultimately can't do anything about your failure. So be sure to check it out if you guys haven't already. It's me and Mike's coaching group. It's our top level. We pull the curtain back on everything that we do, and it's really great. But I want to give you guys a little bit of background on this job. This was a house and driveway cleaning that we got called on. Whenever you master the Google machine, you're going to start getting free leads into your business, consistent lead flow, people who are actively searching out your company or searching out a company that can solve a problem that they have. So highly recommend you guys start dominating on Google. But anyway, the call came into the call team, and the guy had a bit of a strange request. Now, like I said, I like to use the call team because it screens out everybody that comes in. I get to answer every call in the first ring, and I get to get back to the people who need me to get back to them as quickly as possible. So I highly recommend you guys check out the call team. I'll leave it down below. They answer every call, screen your calls. It's really great. But his strange request is that he wanted his property done quarterly. Now, you guys know this. With pressure washing, it's pretty much like a one-time-a-year service. We don't get a bunch of recurring opportunities with regards to pressure washing. That's why other businesses are better from the perspective of they're a little bit more consistent. When you have a consistent recurring book of business, you don't have to continue to find new customers. However, since we're pressure washers, we really want to try to service everybody at least once a year, and we're going to have to find people to fill the schedule. It's not like we're servicing them monthly. So a little bit of a strange request. We've pretty much never gotten a residential person say, hey, I want to be serviced multiple times. So I shot him a text with a price to get it done for the first cleaning, and then he wanted to negotiate. Now, this is typically not a red flag. This just means that they want to get the deal done, which I enjoy. I enjoy a customer that wants to negotiate because then I get to know, what's the top dollar they want to pay versus what's the bottom line for me of what I ultimately want to make on this job. I've negotiated with tons of customers countless times, and everything has typically turned out fine. So not necessarily a red flag, just something you want to be aware of, but I don't mind negotiating. The structure for what we landed on is recurring cleaning, which we'll see. You guys help me decide whether or not I need to continue to service this person after this video, but most expensive cleaning is obviously first because we got to get, it's the worst the first time, and then all subsequent cleanings were discounted. So that's kind of the structure that we landed on, and he agreed to it. I'm going to put him down on my calendar. I'm not going to hold him to any kind of contractual agreement, though. I don't need him to sign anything in order to say, we're definitely going to be out here. But one thing that you don't want to fall into is a scenario where the customer's like, oh, if you do a really good job, I'll have you back out quarterly. This is another red flag of a bad customer, somebody who promises work in the future if you give them a deal right now. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I've had realtors be like, hey, if you hook me up on this one, then, oh my gosh, man, I'm going to send you all my business. And I never hear from them again. It's kind of the hallmark for people that do this. So always be on the lookout for somebody who wants a good deal now in exchange for future work, because 99 times out of 100, nothing's going to come of it. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into my other 3 signs. I would say that's probably one of them. So you guys are actually getting 4 signs in this one. Another one is that they don't give up all the information needed to get a quote done. This means that they have low intent basically, and you usually only get this on Facebook customers. I do get it sometimes with people that call into the call team. They don't give all of their information, and if they don't give all their information, I just don't call them back, because if they're not giving me all of their information that I need to get them over a quote, then they're not that serious, and they have all these rules in their head for how this whole thing needs to transact and how everything needs to play out, and I just don't have time for people like that. I want to be able to take the lead as the business owner, tell them how it's going to be, and I want them to be receptive to that, because at the end of the day, we do this every single day and they don't. It's like a customer that tries to tell me, how I need to clean the property. It's like, we clean hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of properties. We don't need you to tell us how to clean the property. So just something to be mindful of. If a customer doesn't want to give you all their information, that's why I use the call team, because they screen them out. Then it's probably not somebody that you're ultimately going to end up doing any business with. So this is something to be mindful of on Facebook too. I have guys that are like, I spend all these time with customers that are just tire kickers on Facebook. And it's like, well, did they give you all their information up front? Like, did they tell you their phone number, their address, and when they're looking to get the job done? Well, no, they didn't want to give me that. And they just wanted a ballpark estimate. Well, there you go. There's your problem. The next sign is that they don't do what they say that they're going to do. And that was the case on this job. This particular job, I let him know before we got out there that he needed to have all of the furniture removed from the house, so that way it did not inhibit the cleaning process. He let me know numerous times it was going to be okay, that he was going to have everything moved. We showed up to the property. Nothing was moved. He said, hey, as soon as my sons wake up, I'll have them move it. The sons woke up, left the house. Nothing was moved. So ultimately, we had to come in and move it. Now, when this happens, you put yourself in a position where you get to make one of two decisions. Either I could say, hey, we had to move the furniture. Now you're going to face a subsequent $100 charge, or you're going to have to eat, the moving of the furniture and everything. Now, this particular property was a really nice property, so some of this furniture was really expensive. It was really heavy, and they had a lot of it. So in hindsight, I really should have said, hey, it's going to be an extra $100 because we had to move everything. When you want to tell the customer this, by the way, is after they schedule. So once they schedule, hey, please have everything moved from the property. We do have a $100 fee in the event that we have to move anything. This way they know up front. Now, I neglected to do that because, I think I was in a hurry. I booked this job. I let them know you need to have everything moved, and I didn't include that verbiage in there. So I ate the cost of the 100. So just something to be mindful of. I'd let them know on the front end. That way, in the event that you have to move everything, it's not a surprise when they get a bill for $100 extra. So that was sign number 2. Sign number 3, they do things their own way instead of the options presented. So you guys might think, oh, this isn't like a big deal, right? After the job was done, I sent this guy over a text. I said, hey, thank you so much for your business. We accept cash, Venmo, or I think I gave him one other option, Zelle. And I said, let me know which way you want to get this taken care of. And he said, thanks. I'm going to send a check on Monday. And so it's like, this customer, I didn't even give them that as an option. He just decided he was going to send a check. I don't like check personally. It takes longer. I had to send him my mailing address, and it's kind of annoying. So for me, like, this guy didn't even follow directions when I sent him over what we wanted. He didn't do what he said he was going to do. So a couple of these things kind of lead me to believe that this guy isn't really going to be a great customer, going forward. And it's somebody that I probably don't want to reservice. Now, for any of you guys that are kind of new to business, you might be like, oh, Justin, these aren't really big things. These are just like little nitpicky things. The thing is, though, is when you dial in your lead flow and you got enough lead flow in, and you don't need every single customer that you get, you really stop putting up with so much stuff, and you really stop taking it, because you don't have to, right? There's another bus every 10 minutes, I think is what Coach Corey Wayne used to say about women, right? There's another bus every 10 minutes. And there's another customer every 10 minutes too, if you put yourself in the proper position to land those customers. So just a few things that I want you guys to be on the lookout for, something that you might not necessarily know if you're just starting your business out, and something that you're probably going to get more nitpicky over time as you start to make more money, and as your time becomes more valuable. The more valuable your time is, the less that you're going to be willing to put up with. So let me know down below, should we service this guy again? I will not move his stuff ever again. Like I said, it was heavy. It was a lot of stuff, and it's really annoying. You got to take pictures before and after, so you make sure that you put everything back in the proper places. But like I said, I dropped the ball. I should have let him know that it was $100 if he didn't move anything. But let me know down below, what would you guys do? And if you made it this far in the video, comment down below, watch out. I want you to be mindful of all these little signs. Don't look at every customer that comes to the door as dollars, because you don't want every single customer, believe it or not. And one day, if you guys don't know that already, you're going to learn it. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. My name is Justin. Until next time, hustle hard, get that money, baby. Peace.